here, and we're going to be over on Instagram. So if you guys want to hear and see Lisa over on Instagram, come join us there, because it's the quality for some reason on Zoom is not as good as on Instagram. So I'm going to stream this. I'm going to still let you guys hear this, but we're going live now on Instagram. Hey guys, getting ready to do a live enlightened conversation here with Lisa Jane, purpose coach and intuitive. It's going to be a fun conversation. That's why I like to always have lots of backups, because Zoom wasn't. Hello, Johanna. Hello, hello. Congrats on your. I saw your post. You've been selling homes like it's nothing. I love it. If you guys are in Miami, you want to buy a spot, go to Johanna. A little shout out for you. All right, waiting for Lisa Jane to join me here. Getting ready to do a live enlightened conversation with purpose coach Lisa Jane. Seeing her on me, seeing her join me live. Hello, hello. Let me see if Lisa will join me live over here. I may have to start this and restart this to see if, I don't know if Lisa knows that I'm live. We're over here on Zoom as well, but I don't know if I'm going to tell her in the chat. Oh, there you are. Awesome. Okay. You know how to request to join me. Awesome. So just hit the request. You'll see like on the right it says request to join, and then I'll bring you on and we'll be on split screen. There you go. Awesome. I love technology. It always works out well.
Awesome.
There we go. Perfect. You can.
Technical difficulties.
I have a great story that the universe wants all this information out there, so it always works out. No, never any ongoing technical difficulties.
Yeah, when I came on, it was 111, and I was like, okay, it's working there.
Of course, I love it. Okay, so you can hear me good, no echoes, anything. You're good.
I'm good.
Awesome. Okay, I'm just gonna tag you here so that people know who I'm speaking with. Live with Purpose Coach at Lisa Jane _ coach.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then you guys live ask questions if inspired too.
Sorry, that was my Zoom just cut out.
No worries.
Is it miracle or something? Because like when it's miracle, things like technology always like breaks.
I do not know, but I'm gonna maintain my story that it's always working out good for us.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
Awesome.
I'm gonna hit record here on Zoom.
Okay, I'm logging back onto Zoom because it just logged me out.
Oh, awesome. Cool. I know that they'll want to see you. I've already told the people streaming, because on Zoom it's streaming over to Facebook and to YouTube, and I told them if they want to see Lisa Jane as we're speaking, join us over here on Instagram, the Angel of Abundance, and you guys can see us both. Or if yours starts working and you want to pop your video back up on Zoom, awesome.
Yeah.
Either way.
I'm trying to do that.
No, we're good. Let's do it. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Enlightened Conversations. Excited for today and have an awesome guest with us. We have Lisa Jane, who is here in the Florida area as well. You're on the other side, beautiful side of.
Beautiful.
All of Florida is beautiful, all surrounded by water. So you definitely have water over there as well. The clear waters of the west side of Florida. I discovered Lisa's Instagram page just not too long ago, maybe a week or two ago, and maybe not even that long. And I reached out to her and told her how I love the energy that she was sharing with her audience, and just the love and light she was sharing with humanity, and asked her if she wanted to have a fun conversation with me. And here we are today. Lisa is a purpose coach and an intuitive and all around awesome human, and just excited to flow some positive vibes with her today with all you guys. So without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to Lisa Jane, and you can share with the audience so they're more familiar with you, who you are, what you do, why you do it, all these good things.
Okay, so obviously I'm a purpose coach and I'm intuitive. I do this because it was part of my own journey. I had my spiritual awakening 5 years ago, and I was in this place in my life where I was like, what is going on? Like, I was really struggling, I was really unhappy, I was like depressed. I had the spiritual awakening, and I was like, wow, I'm on the wrong path in my life. I'm like, what is going on with my life? Because I had everything. I had a high-paid job. I was living in London. I had my own apartment. I had an amazing social life. But I felt so empty. I felt so depressed. So I had this spiritual awakening, and I went on this journey to figure out what was going on inside of me. And a little bit into that journey, I came across Wayne Dyer and his movie The Shift. I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's absolutely amazing. And it's all about finding your purpose and moving from ambition to meaning in your life. So I went on this search to find my purpose. I was like, this is it. This is the answer. I need to know what my purpose is. And I kind of struggled trying to find my purpose because I was looking so much outside of myself. You know, I was looking for the answers outside of myself. And then after more struggle, I started to look within myself. And I opened myself up to my soul and my higher self and my purpose and my vision. And that's why I'm a purpose coach now, because that transformation literally was amazing for me. Like, to find all the answers within myself, to find my purpose within myself was amazing. And now it's my mission to help other people do the same.
I love it. I love it. Such a great reminder for all of us. I love the quote that the pain will push us until our vision pulls us. Like, such a great reminder. And yeah. And you just illustrated that beautifully. Your accent, where's the beautiful accent from? Scotland? Is that what I'm hearing?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. I love it.
Scotland.
I love it. And you've chosen an awesome part of the U.S. to inhabit. I came here 6 years ago to visit. I'd only been to Miami area once, South Florida once, and I moved here 2 weeks later. I was like, I want to live here. Yeah, so, and I've been here ever since. So I say to people, it wasn't warm enough in Los Angeles for me. So I was in LA. I needed more, especially in the winter time. I love it so much. Well, so it's awesome that the light bulb came on for you. And the Wayne Dyer movie, I've studied a lot of Wayne Dyer. I love Wayne Dyer, but I haven't seen that movie, The Shift. I will watch that. I discovered some awesome Wayne Dyer stuff after he passed. There's some cool stuff floating around on YouTube, and I try to save all of it where like he's speaking at different events, then all of a sudden they pop up because people have filmed them, and then there's some awesome stuff out there. Highly recommend. I love the conversation that Wayne Dyer had with Abraham. Have you ever seen that one? The conversation with spiritual teachers. That's powerful. Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm just throwing these out there because if people hear this and like inspired to go search, I know that you will be greatly impacted if this is a synchronicity that is meant for you out there. So I'm just purposely throwing these out there since you said it. But I will check out The Shift because I love Wayne Dyer stuff. I had a Wayne Dyer binge maybe 8 years ago that was like awesome, where I was just like seeking stuff out. Very, very cool. Well, for you, as you kind of had the light bulb come on for you, how did it go into where you're like, I want to help other people with this? Because I always love hearing how people go from that. Because I know all of us, Lisa Jane, we go from these unconditional loving little babies, and for most of us, forget who we truly are. Which you illustrated, kind of how your journey, how that happened a little bit with you, and then we remember, hopefully all of us, here are listening to this, or you're attracted to this because you've already had the light bulb come on, and you realize it's a forever evolving, for all of us. Or is happening right now. But for you, how did you go from kind of, unconditional loving little baby to light bulb coming on to saying, I want to help people with this and help people, find their purpose?
Honestly, I think it was because before I had my spiritual awakening, I grew up with really negative beliefs about myself. I always felt like I wasn't worthy. I always felt like I wasn't good enough. And I had so many struggles, like in my early life. When I was a teenager, I was depressed. When I was in my early 20s, I had a drinking problem. And I really had this belief about myself that I just wasn't good enough, that I wasn't worthy because of things that happened in my childhood. So when I surrendered and connected to my soul and my higher self and the divine through meditation, I actually started to get visions of who I actually truly am and what my purpose is. But I started to see all these visions of how my life could be and why I was really here on the planet. And the visions, they truly blew me away. Like, they blew my mind, because in the visions I was actually seeing myself as my soul, and I was actually so worthy. And I started to connect with divine more, open up my intuition, and what I started to see was that there's so many people on the planet right now who are the same, who have this purpose, who are so worthy, who have big things to do in the world, but they don't know it, they aren't connected. So that's why I'm so passionate about helping women connect to this, right? Really helping them connect to their soul and their higher self to actually see what they're here to do on the planet, right? Because it's a whole shift in how you see yourself, your life, how worthy you are. And yeah, that's just what I want to share with everyone.
I love it. I love it. So basically what you're describing is like you started seeing who you truly are, recognizing that, and just you're now helping other people to be able to see that. Is that what you would consider to be? I mean, I think it's self-explanatory. That would you consider to be your purpose, and then when you're helping other people discover theirs, because I'm always curious when we're talking about purpose, because I feel like there's the reason that all of us came and incarnated it in these physical avatars, which the way that I see it, we came because we knew our souls would evolve by being here in these physical avatars, and as creators, we're going to add to all that is. Everything that we see in this world it's expanding, and we're adding to it by being here. And then there's what we choose to do with that, while we're here, like what it is that we're going to spend our time doing. So when you're describing purpose, is it like which direction are you going with clients, like initially? Because I know until they discover who they truly are, like the second part of it won't even matter. But how does that work with you guys when you're working with clients?
Okay.
Does that question make sense?
I'm talking about purpose. I believe that our souls, yeah, that makes sense. I believe that our souls all made a plan before we incarnated. We made a plan for our life. We came here to share specific things, to do specific things in the world, to create change, to connect with our passions, to help other people in our own unique way. So when I'm helping people with their purpose, I'm really helping them connect back to what they're passionate about, what their soul wants to do in the world, and then I'm helping them make a career out of that, if that makes sense, right? Because we all have work within us that we're here to do, right? We all have work within us that we're here to share, a difference that we're here to make. So I really help women get really clear and focused on what that is. Like, what does your soul want to share? What are you here to give the world? And then I help them create a career out of it.
Gotcha. I love it. So foundational, just knowing that, because a lot of times what I notice with humanity is us questioning whether or not we can go out there and create something that we desire, whether it be a career or relationship or health goal, and there's that that doubt, that self-doubt that a lot of us have, and that stems from from not knowing who we truly are, not knowing that we're all just different expressions of this same energy that is flowing through. Even though your avatar is called Lisa Jane, mine's called Noelle, yours is called whoever's yours is out there. If you see any human being that has flowed the energy towards creation of anything, if they can, you can too. That's not just cliche, because they're using the same energetic power, that same energetic force, whether you call that force God, universe, love, all that is, source, spirit, higher self, infinite intelligence. We can go on and on and on. Whatever you call that or resonate with, like that's what we're using as that's who we truly are. That's flowing through these physical avatars to create anything that we want, whether it be a career or a health goal or a relationship. So I love anytime someone is reminding people of that, because then you get to ask the question, well, what do I feel? And this is what you're helping people do. What do I feel like I'm here for? Like, what do I want to spend my time doing? Because I know it's probably a lot of people come to you, Lisa Jane, and right now they may not be doing with their time what they really feel like they are here to do. Maybe they're, spending time working a job just specifically to pay the bills, and maybe they like parts of it, maybe they don't like any of it, maybe they like all of it. But I would love to, like, the reason why I do what I do, I want to live in a humanity where we wake up and we do what's most fulfilling to us, what's most fun to us, what we feel like we're here to do. Because you can tell just by talking to you, like, you're passionate about what you do. And anytime I talk with anyone, no matter what they do, if they're passionate about it, it's so much more fun to like talk about what they're doing versus, oh, I got to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, that's not that much fun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. That's
And
got.
that's really what I work with people. Sorry.
Go ahead. We have a slight delay, so I'm gonna make sure I'm pausing long so I can let you go, because we have a slight delay. I've noticed.
I know. I keep noticing that technology today. That's why I really work with people on, as most of the people that I work with are working jobs and they feel really unfulfilled, and it's not their purpose, and they're not doing what they love, and they're not what they feel passionate about. And they wake up in the morning, they're like, I don't have a purpose, but they've had a spiritual awakening, and they're tuning into all these people who are living their purpose. So maybe they're listening to podcasts, maybe they're reading videos, maybe reading videos, reading books, watching videos, right? And they have this desire within them because it's their soul path to do the same, but they feel like really confused. They don't know how to find the answers. And so I help them tap within, because I believe that all the answers are within. When you really connect to yourself, your higher self, your intuition, that comes out naturally, right? And then they start to like awaken to this, and they start to do the work that's really fulfilling, and that's really what like transforms your life, because you're actually being yourself, doing what you're here to do on the planet, living through your soul, and then you start serving, right? You start to serve other people, which is like the most important thing.
Absolutely. I love that. And there's been a lot of talk since like the quarantine started around, the planet about people choosing, and it makes me so happy, people choosing to go within, because there's less options to I was so good at one point in my life, Lisa Jane, as far as manipulating the external, trying to make things like, look good on the external so I could feel good on the internal, try to have the relationship or have, like, it was all, I'll be happy when this is this way. And that's challenging for any of us, because we only have so much control over what we see, and that's already physically manifested, because the energy has already been put into that for it to even exist, for us to be able to see it or smell it or touch it. Like, it's already been created. And so for us to create new, we have to flow new energy towards whatever that is. And so what you're describing as far as being able to go within, what are some of the ways that you focus on and help your clients with, and that you focus on yourself as far as going within and, really, discovering self and all the things that we're talking about here?
The main tool that I use is meditation. So I use meditation, visualization. I use channeling, which is basically meditation, but you're deliberately connecting to your higher self or your guides. Then I use journaling, which is like an amazing tool for connecting to your intuition. And then I use meditations to help people heal like their fears and their traumas and their emotional blocks. That's also a process of going within and looking at the parts of yourself that you don't like, and then releasing that, because then that helps you become more intuitive and more in touch with like who you are.
I love it. I knew you were going to say meditation. I was just like prompting you for I was just like teeing you up for that, because that going within, I mean, in my opinion, that's the easiest way to do it, is just to allow yourself to, the way I describe meditation is you really, when you're truly like connected, Like you don't see where you as the physical avatar end and the energy part of you like begins. Like there's no separation. Like there never really is. But when you're meditating and you don't have thoughts going on about worries or doubts or any of this going on, and you're like truly connected, in those moments you're really truly being who we all truly are. And it's beautiful because from that space, you can call that space, a nice peace, or calm, or we can receive so many cool like downloads into our mind and like answers to questions that we have about life. And this is my favorite part of it. And it just feels really good. Like I meditate every morning, and my only intention is to feel how I like to feel energetically, like know that I'm connected and start my day from that place of connection with who we truly are, God, universe, love, all that is, all these synonyms to me. And then from there, what I love, and you speak on this, Lisa Jane, when people ask me, why do I meditate? Well, let me ask you that. Why would you say that obviously tapping within, that's probably the main reason, going within. But if there's some other reasons why you would say that you meditate, I think that's good for people that maybe aren't meditating yet to know like some of the reasons why.
I would say that I meditate to get answers.
I love it.
To get answers and what I'm here to do, clarity on me and meditation are more aligned than anything that I can find outside of myself.
I love it. I love that you specifically have the intention to get answers. I do too. I love that so much. Like for me, it's just I know that, and for me, it's like I don't necessarily know that the answer that I asked for a specific question is going to come in like this meditation right now, here and now. However, I know it's coming, and even if it doesn't come in this meditation, it might come when I'm out in nature. It can come at any time when we're ready for it. I know you know this. And for me, like worst case scenario after meditating, I'm just gonna feel really good. So it's just like a win. Yeah. Also, what I love is I'll give you guys another like benefit to meditation, because for me, Lisa Jane, all I care about is what's my present moment, my right now energy, frequency, mood, vibration. Again, all synonyms. All I care about is what version of Noel am I bringing to this moment, which is truly all that exists for any of us. And so when we meditate and we feel that connection, whether you call that energy when you get up from meditation, you're at peace, or you're excited, or you're feeling love, or whatever you want to label it in words, you're going to recognize and notice, if you pay attention, if you start maybe an hour later or a few hours later, maybe you start becoming anxious about something, or worried about something, or blaming someone, or being critical of yourself or someone else, or judging someone else. You're going to notice, because that's going to feel different in the body than you felt getting up from that meditation. And if you start paying attention to that and catching it early on, you're like, ooh, like I was feeling really good, and now I'm like worried about this. Like, and now you have a choice, because without the awareness of it, you don't have a choice to do anything about it. And there were times in my life where, and I'm sure you could relate to this too, Lisa Jane, probably all of us can, where you can be anxious for like a whole day, or a series of days, or a whole week, or months, and not even realize that this has become a habit for you. Like the way that you're viewing the world are through the lenses of anxiety. Like I don't let people label themselves around me that they're an anxious person. No, you're just a person that is being anxious in the moment. That's for all of us. So, and that's for any energy that we want to label in words. So, you resonate with that?
I totally agree.
I love it.
I totally agree. I feel like for meditation, you're in alignment with who you are. You're in alignment with your desires, what you want, like just with your own essence. And then if you go out throughout the day, you start to realize the things that you're doing, thinking, saying that are not in alignment with that part of you, right? And that's when you can have that decision to be like, okay, well, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to think this anymore. I don't want this in my life anymore, because it doesn't reflect who I am.
For sure. We don't bear with me, because we have a delay. So like your mouth has stopped moving and you were still speaking, so I was just still quiet. I was like, okay, but it's okay. I love it. You're saying really good things. The audio is clear, so I mean, you guys can match the audio with the movements of mouth later on.
Awesome.
But so I want to ask this too, because I haven't asked this to a guest in a while, and I think this is important for for the, because it's such a valuable tool for us, like meditation, since we're talking about it now. Like when you, at the beginning of your meditation journey, was it challenging for you? Because I like to say that, you know, none of us could meditate until we could. You know, so I was one of those where I was like, I don't know if I could ever sit still for any period of time, and so it wasn't so easy at the beginning for me. And through some guided meditations, I was able to start practicing. But how did the beginning of your journey look? Was it easy for you, or was it challenging?
No, I hated it. It was horrible. When I first started meditating, I was in a space in my life where my life was just chaotic. It was right before my spiritual awakening, and I had a lot of anxiety. I'd been anxious for like months and months and months, so I was using meditation to calm the anxiety, and I felt actually worse when I was meditating. I was like, oh my god, what is this? And then luckily, like you, I found guided meditations, and I started to do them before bed, and then I started to be able to meditate. They were like guided meditations and hypnosis tapes. And that like calmed my nerves, and like calmed me down, and I could actually sit and meditate because the guy in the meditations was like saying all these really like positive affirmations, and the music was really good. So that's how I began meditating. But the first few times I did not like it.
I love it. I love it. That, I think that gives encouragement to people when we share that, even though, you know, we may have been meditating for a period of time now, and we talk about it this way. It wasn't an easy, you know, beginning for a lot of people that I've spoken with. Definitely not for me. I actually went to a meditation retreat. It was the best decision that I made in my life. It was a very impulsive, like I had to fly like across the world in order to attend. But it was a really good decision, changed my life completely. But the first day, it was a 7-day retreat. The first day of it, I was so like doubting that I could meditate in this room of people that, like, there were people in there that were like, I'm like, these are professionals. Like they can, like, they know how to not only meditate, but they can take their energy up from like their chakras and move it up to their head and have like energy orgasms in their mind. I'm like, this is crazy. Like I just felt like way on a different level. So I was like, I'm not going back to day 2. We were in Cancun. So I was like, and when I say travel across the world, I wasn't going from Florida to Cancun. I went from Hong Kong back over here. So I had to make a quick decision to come back to this side of the world. But my point is, because of just saying, you know what, I'm going to keep doing it. And I know that like everything else in life, it's a practice. So if I just practice, even if I get a little bit better from the 7 days, well, by the end of that 7 days, I felt so much better because we did like a 4-hour meditation on the last day. I was like, how did I go from not being able to sit still for, and it started at 6 a.m., which I don't really do anything at 6 a.m. So that's normally, like I'm in hibernation still at 6. But it started at 6 and it went till 10. I'm like, my goodness. Like, and it went by at the snap of a finger. So it just shows like what's possible for us as human beings, and highly recommend out there. I wanted to hit on that more because I know how valuable that's been for our lives, for sure.
Yeah.
What's your vision?
My meditation journey, I was meditating, then I wasn't meditating. I was meditating, then I wasn't. Like, it took a while to actually make it up. You know, it was like hard for me to actually be like, okay, I'm going to meditate every single day. And then finally I got into that practice because I started to connect to my intuition, and I started getting visions from my soul and from my higher self. So once I started getting that, I was like hooked. You know, I was getting these downloads, I was like receiving all this stuff, and I was like, this feels amazing. I'm going to do it every single day.
Absolutely. I want that for everybody, Lisa Jane, because that's a really fun place it's a fun place to live life when we know that we can ask any question that matters to us, as far as, you know, how can I question, or, you know, any of that. Like, we can receive those answers, and a lot of everything that I'm doing currently has come as an answer to a question, and as pretty much all of it I've received during meditation over the last several years. Like this podcast, the name of the podcast, the artwork for the podcast, how to get guests on the podcast, everything. Like everything that I do, everything I'm creating has come through that. So I'm so excited whenever I hear that someone out there has like had that light bulb come on, because now we have an open dialogue. Basically, we're an open channel to our higher self, to all that is. So we get to really live the the infinite way that we all truly are, just through these physical shells. So awesome. If you guys have any questions, put them in the
It's amazing.
I love it. I love it. Hello, I see a couple familiar faces. Hi, Monica. Hey, Arjun. Everybody else. If you guys have questions, put them in the question box. And I want to know, Lisa Jane, from you. I always love asking people this, because if I ask you this question, it's going to be about like what your vision is for what you're doing, in your life, or maybe what you see for humanity. And if I ask you this a year from now, it will totally evolve, because you're going to have another year of life experience. So you'll probably say what you're going to say now, and then some, because you're going to have more life that you've lived. So what's like your vision for, as far as now we're recording this August 2020?
Hear me?
I can hear you. We're just a little bit delayed, but I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the vision for a year time?
No, not a year time. Doesn't matter to me what the time period is. I don't ever put timetables on the universe. I let things flow however they are meant to flow. I always say everything is happening in perfect timing. But just your vision as of this moment, what you know in your life as far as what you want to see unfold for you. And then if you've thought about it for like what you see vision-wise for humanity, or anything vision-wise, whatever time period, doesn't matter to me.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's quite a big question. So I've received so many visions in my meditation about my life. Like, what do I start with? Well, basically, I'll start with where I am now. So my vision right now is really, I'm focusing on building my social media. I'm about to launch a course that helps women connect to their purpose and make a career from it. I'm about to launch a podcast, which will be a podcast sharing tools and tips and wisdom. People connect to their soul, helping people connect to their higher self and to their purpose. I'm going to have guests on that too, who are sharing their story about finding their purpose. And then I'm going on to do events in Naples for people specifically looking to find purpose. So that's my vision for right now. Sorry, there's someone out there really loud. As of my big vision, my soul's given me a lot of big visions about where I'm going in my life. I see eventually that I'll be a motivational speaker. I'll be sharing this.
There you go. You had stopped, and now you're back. You're back. You stopped on. Oh, now I can't hear you on Instagram. There. You're cutting in and out. It stopped letting me hear you when you said you're wanting to be a motivational speaker, and then it stopped after that.
Oh, okay. I just said like that's where I'll be going in the future to like share the message, and that's what I'm working towards.
I love it, and you're already spreading such good energy now. You're already motivationally speaking and inspiring speaking now, just in your platform. And it's fun when we're having conversations like these, because I'd be totally happy and excited if there were 4 billion humans watching us live right now, or 7 billion humans, because I know that we're just sharing, truths that our intention is to inspire and uplift the audience. So as people like you that are inspired to help more people, I'm just rooting for you, and this is why I want to have a conversation with you, because if I can highlight what you're doing and bring more people, to know that you exist, just like now I know that you exist on this planet. It's just fun. Like I root for everybody that is, they know everybody. Period. I root for. First, I root for us to know who we truly are. That's foundational to everything that I'm ever going to do here. And then from there, just like you are, encouraging people to be able to ask the question on how can I do what's most fun and fulfilling for me here, and then to just allow those answers to come. And maybe an answer for you is, if you're out there, to connect with Lisa Jane, and if you're inspired to, I always tell people take inspired action, and that's always a good idea for any of us, because that life experience is going to bring new clarity for you, and new clarity will allow you to have new focus, and new focused energy is going to cause new manifestations for our lives. So I love it so much. I want to know from you, Lisa Jane, anything that maybe you've been sharing with yourself a lot or clients a lot. Just, I want to squeeze any juice that wants to flow out, because somebody could hear this, what we're talking about right now, 20 years from now, or 40 years from now, and I just want to make sure that you share anything that wants to flow out.
You mean like something that will help them with their purpose?
Well, anything that could be anything that you want to make sure that it's like, I want to make sure that they, like, I've shared this. You may have already shared it all, and I would say rewind and listen to at least this whole episode. But anything else that wants to like flow out of you.
I think honestly my biggest message, which I kind of shared before, was I really just encourage people within to look within themselves. You can start doing this through meditation, or you can start doing this through visualization to realize what you want your life to be like consistently. You'll start to connect to higher answers, and you'll start to get like thoughts and ideas coming through. But I want to really encourage everyone to like look within for the answers. Like go within, start asking the universe questions, start asking to know. And as you said before, like even if you don't hear anything in meditation, even if you don't get a download, an idea or a thought, something will start to show up in your life, right? It could be a book, it could be a podcast, like it could be a video. Things start to show up in your life, but you have to look within first and start like seeking the answers and start asking for the answers, and make that a practice, like a daily practice to go within and set the intention to connect with your soul, to connect with God, to connect with your guides, whatever it is that you resonate with, and start to really just ask those questions, like what am I here to do? Like what am I here to do on the planet? What work am I here to share? And the answers will start coming through, and then from that space you can transform your life. And when you connect to that space, you're in alignment with yourself, and things just start to get better and better and better and better. I think that's the main thing that I want to share with everyone.
I love it. That what Lisa Jane just shared is like life simplified. Like that's the only thing that I focus on, because and once you release, because I love how you use the different examples, because so many breakthroughs for me and like conscious awareness that has helped my life like over the past, many years has come through books, but the books came from typically hands of other people that were saying, Noel, this would be something that I think, so it could come in so many different ways. Or like I had a friend that left a book at my house and moved out of the state, and it was just in my book collection, didn't think anything of it. Like 6 or 7 years later, I was Googling something to try to help somebody with. I was like, I want to give them some insight, but I don't want it to come just from me. I want to like quote like a book that they would respect. And so I'm Googling, and then all of a sudden it's a quote. I'm like, ooh, I'm going to send that. I was like, wait a minute. I own this book. But that's the book that the friend left 6 or 7 years ago, and that book transformed my life, and I was just trying to help someone else. So it's just like so many different ways. If we're open to all the different ways, just let the universe, let God, let our higher self, let whatever you resonate with out there work. And don't get in the way, and don't think you have to know how it's going to happen or when or who it's going to come from. Not your work. You don't have to know any of these things. So, 2 questions.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna ask you these two. I'm gonna ask you these 2 questions. Okay, so.
There's some questions on Instagram.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so how to meditate? We were talking about meditation. How to meditate freely without thinking. We always have our thinking, analytical brain working, even when we close our eyes.
I would say like you don't try to not think in meditation, because I feel like that's impossible. When I'm meditating, I am trying to connect to something higher than myself, so that's where my thoughts go. I'm thinking about connecting to something higher, and I start to typically think like really positive thoughts, like what do I feel grateful for, like who do I love in my life, and I like raise my vibration to like that place, because when your vibration is high and you're kind of thinking positive thoughts and you're focusing on connecting, that's when answers come. And I usually like to I make my own guided meditations and listen to my own guided meditations. So I have them specifically where my voice guides me through the meditation, so that's where my thoughts are. And my meditations, I typically set them out to where I'm asking my soul questions. So that's what I'm thinking about in the meditation, and then the answers come, if that makes sense.
If you're gonna, I love what you said right at the beginning. It's don't try to not think, because if you're trying to do anything, and meditation, you're kind of defeating just allowing like it to happen. I'll give you another tip. You can distract yourself. Also, this is why guided meditations were super valuable for me at the beginning. In fact, Arjun, you're always on here adding value. If you DM me, I'll send you the first guided meditation that I ever started doing that helped me be able to meditate, because it really focused me on different energy centers on the body. And so if I was going to be thinking about anything, I was going to be thinking about things that would put me into a meditative state. Which is what Lisa Jane was just describing. If you're going to be thinking about anything, just be thinking about connecting with your higher self. Even today, years later, I love using the Calm app where it has like birds chirping and like ocean sounds like in the background. I like having that playing because it's just super relaxing. So that like I could just go right into a meditative state. Side note, if they're ever you mentioned there was noise outside of your place. They were doing construction here earlier. Just throw right on the Calm app, the birds chirping. Like even though the ocean is right there, I didn't have time to go out there just yet today, so I can still have the ocean here with me. So yeah, there's just great ways to be able to allow ourselves to go within and try out different things and just see what works for you. But don't try to not think, because you try to not do anything and it's gonna happen. You're just attracting more thoughts.
Think about something that Abraham Hicks says a lot in her meditations. She would like focus on the ear conditioning, which was meditation, and that's just what she was on, and she would just stay at that place. And then focusing on the ear conditioning, she started to like connect.
Just a little distraction.
Like focus.
Yep. Because you're not gonna like with an air conditioner, you're not gonna like judge the air conditioner. You're like, this air conditioner is like, you're just you hear it, but it distracts your mind. But it's not like such a big thing. Like they don't put the TV on where you're hearing them like talking about different things, because then you might be paying attention to that. You won't really pay too much attention to the air conditioner. Yeah, I love it. Okay, another last question that I see here, but that looked like that was helpful for Arjun, so that's awesome. For Monica, what's the best way to get back into alignment when you have fallen out? Great question.
Oh, I know that is a good question. There's so many things that you can do to get back into alignment. Well, one, meditation. Two, this is from Abraham Hicks. I love this one. You start to focus on what you feel grateful for. So, like, if you have this awareness, like, I'm feeling like kind of crappy right now, like, what do I feel grateful for? Like, what's going well in my life? What do I appreciate? And then you start to focus on that, because the more that you're thinking positively, the more that you're in alignment. And you can actually write it down. You can actually start to write, like, I appreciate this, I appreciate this, I appreciate this. And then that's your vibration, and you're back into alignment.
Absolutely. The fact that you even care enough to ask the question, it means you're paying attention to your vibration and your energy, and that you notice that you've gotten out of alignment, so you want to be back in. It's awesome. Once you're noticing that, I like to say that all of us are 99% of the way there, and the 1% is always in the moment, and it's a eternal moment of now. So we'll always get to decide if we're going to be in alignment, be who we truly are in this moment, or not. But if you recognize it, then there's things that to do, whether it be meditation or playing some music or getting out in nature, finding things to be grateful for, or just being okay with saying, okay, right now I'm not feeling my best. I know that this too shall pass, and I don't have to try to do anything right now. I'm just gonna I know that this isn't permanent, but I'm aware of it, so I'm happy and I'm even just the being grateful for noticing it will raise your frequency. That's what I've noticed with me. It's like this is a separate subject, but same thing, because when we're out of alignment, we're open to whether it be physical illness and like lots of different things. So just in the past, like many years, I haven't gotten sick in years, because even when I notice any symptom, whether it be sore throat or like headache or runny nose or whatever, I've trained myself to be appreciative for the symptom as a reminder for what my vibration has been leading up to the symptom. So I'm like, wow, I'm super happy that I'm noticing this, so it doesn't have to turn into a full-blown illness. So now I'm going to return to being who I truly am, maybe drink some water, get some rest, do whatever I know to do, and then I wake up and I feel great the next day. It's been this way for 7+ years. So just a side note for that, the fact that you're noticing it and that it matters to you, you're 99% of the way there. And none of us will ever be 100% of the way there, because none of us are permanently anything energetically. Like there's always a moment by moment choice for all of us.
like it happens. It's just a practice. Like you're just practicing and practicing, raising your vibration as much as you can, and then it becomes, as you said, like your natural state. And when you fall out of alignment, you know how to get back into alignment.
Absolutely. And you notice yourself also doing it quicker and quicker and quicker. Like it doesn't have to, like for me, what used to maybe could throw off like the whole day, especially when you're not aware of it. Like if you get out of alignment, a lot of times for most human beings, you're done the whole day. Like most of the day, like it just been, you label it as, oh, it's just one of those days, you know, or I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Like it's just the way it is. But we're just not aware that we can actually do something about it. As we practice this and it matters to us, like Lisa Jane just said, it can get to the point where like I can't remember a time in many years where like even if I'm anxious about something, I notice it and I'm like, this is not how I'm going to live this day. Like no, I just know that that's not how I choose to live in my moments of life, where the only ones that are promised are the ones that we're in. And so I give myself so much credit over the years, and I invite everybody out there, encourage everybody out there to do the same as you're practicing returning back to who you truly are. Notice how much faster you do it. Like it doesn't have to, especially when you notice it, like in the first, because say you go from that meditation in the morning and you're being who you truly are. And then you notice the first thoughts of being judgmental towards someone or critical. You say a word and you're like, ooh, that didn't feel that good coming out. It doesn't have to go pick up so much momentum to where if you're being judgmental or critical for a full hour, it's going to be a little bit more challenging to slow that momentum down because that's going to feel really, really heavy in the body. But if you see it right away, it's not as big of a deal to be able to return back to who we truly are.
Right, exactly. And I feel like too, like there's also things where you can get triggered, where your pain gets triggered, and that takes you out of alignment too, obviously. And it's important if it happens to like be like, okay, I'm just gonna sit with myself for however long it takes to like pass that negative emotion, then go back into alignment. I think that's really important too. Like sometimes we have energy that has to pass out the body, and the more that we have that practice, the more that our vibration actually stays higher. That's what I've realized in my own life.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's all about being mindful, like mindfulness, just being aware. Like if this matters to you, which obviously, you know, Monica, obviously it matters to you because you asked the question, and it matters to me more than anything on earth, like what my present moment vibration is. Because if knowing that everything that we're experiencing in life is just reflecting from that present moment vibration, all the synchronicities that we're going to have today, which both ones that we really love or maybe some that we don't love so much, again, reflecting from what's going on inside of us at this present moment. So knowing that, I don't see why anything else would be more important than that. Because to me, I want to be able to, if I have the power, which all of us do, to how we live this life and how this life, you know, looks for us on the external, and all I have to do is control the internal. I mean, easier said than done, but again, it's a practice. If it matters to you, you'll practice it, and you'll get better and better and better at it, and it'll become a normal state of being, like Lisa Jane mentioned. So, awesome. This is why I love questions, because it takes its conversations to this place. I appreciate you guys for asking those, because it added tons more juice to this conversation. It was already really good, and then Lisa Jane shared her final juice that she shared, and then all of a sudden you guys took it to a whole nother place. So thank you guys for participating.
I had a question earlier on, but we were like talking. Someone was asking me about the higher self. This was like way back, maybe.
I saw it, and I purposely answered my next. That's when I gave all the little synonyms. That's when I gave on purpose, like God, universe, love, all that is, source, spirit, infinite intelligence, nature, all synonyms. Higher self, all synonyms. So, yeah, whatever you read. That's who we all truly are. That's the energy that everything that we see in this world, on this planet, is made up of that higher self energy, and it just embodies itself in different versions of a tree, or of Noel, or of Lisa Jane, or of whoever you are out there. So this is what all of us can know to be true, and makes it really fun, because then we don't have to compare ourselves to others, because they're just a different expression of the same stuff, and we don't have to think that we're any better or better than anyone else, because again, they're just a different expression of the same stuff. That gives me so much like excitement and confidence, and at the same time humbleness, because again, like that'd be like I like to say when people are comparing themselves or thinking that they're better than someone else for any reason, that'd be like the waves in the ocean thinking that they're better than the other waves because they're bigger or bluer or warmer or colder. Like that would be silly. We'd be like, there's waves.
Right.
So same thing with you out there. Like that's silly.
Right.
You're a wave. This is what I want to say to the humans that are out there, like, you know, with equality and people that are like thinking that for color of people's skin or gender or anything. Hey, silly. Like they're the same as you. They're just different express. They just came here to express as a different physical avatar. Like it's just silly. If I speak to them ever, I'll be like, let's look at the waves out there. Can you imagine if they were like arguing with each other because that one is a bigger wave that came onto the? It just, to me, it seems silly. I love it. Do you want the?
Like when people are comparing themselves to other people, or they're judging others, they're blaming others. Like that's a human condition. That doesn't come from your higher self. That doesn't come from your soul. That doesn't come from who you are. Like that is like something that humans have created, right? So when you're in that place of comparing or judging someone else, or blaming someone else, you're actually disconnected from who you are, right? You're not being yourself because that's a human condition.
Absolutely. I love it. Do you want the audience to know anything as far as to connect with you, or as far as working with you, or anything like that? Anything that you want to make sure that they know about that you have going on?
Okay, so they can check me out on my Instagram. Right now, I'm creating a course. It won't be done until the end of October, I think, but this is a course that is specifically for women who want to discover their purpose and create a career out of it, right? So if you're working a job where you feel really dissatisfied, or you've had a spiritual awakening and you want to find your purpose, but you want to make it your work and do it every single day, where you're helping people, you're serving people, you're tapped into your path, you're doing what you love. Like this course literally has everything in it to help you to do that. So that's coming out end of October.
I love it.
And you can connect with me on Instagram.
I love it. You guys definitely connect with Lisa Jane, and if you're inspired to connect with her doing anything, highly recommend that you do. That'd be a great next life experience that will lead to more clarity and more direction and focus, and that's what we all came here for. So thank you for flowing this fun energy with me today, Lisa Jane. This is awesome. I really am happy that we now know each other exists on this planet, and affirming that this is our first co-creation, and we'll co-create together again when timing is right. So, and I know it's fun you creating the course right now because you're flowing. I know the energy that's flowing through you to create this, and this what's fun about these conversations. It's fun about anything we choose to create when it's from that passionate energy and that wanting to make an impact energy. It's just fun. It just feels good going through us. So I'm excited for you.
Yeah, and actually with the course too, a lot of it is channeled. So a lot of it is channeled from like my soul, my guides, or I'm using some people's work have channeled. So it's all really about connecting your soul, your higher self, and then living from that place, living from that purpose, living from who you are and what you're here to do.
Absolutely.
Your life flows.
I love it. Well, you guys, this IGTV is going to be here for 24 hours. Hit the share button. Put it on your story if it impacted you in any way. Let other people experience it. And then this video, I have it running in different places. I'm going to edit it all up, and it'll be inside of the Universal Abundance community. And then the iTunes and Spotify will come out probably, what are we in, August? Next month, or it'll be some weeks. Give it some time. You guys see I record a lot of these. I'm doing another one of these at 4. And so, yes, just excited to keep flowing this energy with all of you guys, and sending you all so much love here live with us. And if you're streaming this out on Facebook or YouTube, same thing. Share this. Let people be impacted by it. And thank you, Lisa Jane. I'm excited to see your journey continue to evolve and co-create with you more whenever timing is right.
Yeah.
All right,
Thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it.
I appreciate you. And you guys, go to Enlightened Conversations and say that Lisa Jane Human. Put a review. Say that Lisa Jane Human. Awesome. And leave and we'll make sure that people can find her episode. I appreciate you guys that have been doing that, because that's making it easier for people to find these. And I did this episode, Lisa Jane. You'll laugh at me. When we first started. when we first started this, I realized that I had my air conditioner off because I had the fan running, and I turned the fan off but didn't put the AC on. So I've been doing this in the Miami humidity inside my house is like 84 degrees right now. So I'm going to put on the AC, take off this shirt. Happy I wore a dark colored shirt because I'm sweating. Lisa J can resonate because she's here. She's here in South Florida too, so I know she knows what I'm feeling right now.
Oh yeah, it's hot. It's hot.
I love it. I love it. All right, you guys, have a beautiful day. I'll talk to everybody soon.
Thank you. Thank you guys for joining.